जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी नमः कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन नंदन यमुना तीरावनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधे राम माधव जय कृष्ण बलराम Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Om Vishnupad Paramas Parivrajikacharya Ashtotter Sita Sri Sri Mata Bhai Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Samasta Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki Nitai Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttamaśloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki. Hare Krishna. Welcome to today's Bhakti Vaibhava class. Okay, we finished yesterday 5th canto, 13th chapter, 12th chapter. Huh? 12th chapter. Thirteen, 14, 14 chapter and 15. Okay, 15 chapter. 15 chapter, how many slokas? Okay. So, one good news for all of you. Good news. This 13th chapter and 14th chapter. Actually, they are combined chapters actually. You know, that means 13th chapter, if you hear, that is a allegorical story. So, the story is narrated by Rahugana. Sorry, narrated by Jadabharata to Rahugana. So, it's allegoric actually, this is. That means it's not real. It's a figurative story actually. So figuratively explained. It's not a real thing actually. That means material world is compared as a forest, and giving that means this whole thing is explained. The different pains possible in this material world are explained as just so different pains we see in the forest. That's a comparatively this said. But in this 13th chapter, you are only seeing the story actually. But now, example, there are these owls in the forest. Owls are there. So these owls are compared with wife. But in this 13th chapter, you'll be seeing only the story related to the forest only. But in that story, which item is referred to which pain in this material world, that is not said. That will be explained in the 14th chapter actually. So that's why if you read 13th chapter, then after narrating this 13th chapter by Jadabharata to Rahugana, so Parishit Maharaj heard this and he was not able to figure it out. That means the story is related to what actually exactly. So then that's why he is going and that means Parishit Maharaj is asking Sukadeva Goswami, then Sukadeva Goswami explains. So in this story, so now example, bushes are said. Bushes means in the material world, you should take this pain, and owls means these wives, and this like that comparatively. So he will explain. So that's why now you have to just follow the Subodhini. If you follow Subodhini, then it will be very easy actually. In Subodhini, 13th chapter and 14th chapter. In the 13th chapter, the story is referring to what pain. That is clearly, so correlation is done. So you can just keep the Subodhini with you. Maybe, so today itself, we can finish. So 2 chapters. How it will be? No commentary. It's just, so Jadabharata is making Rahugana to sit on a horse. What is that horse? That horse is renunciation, vairagyam. So the horse is nothing but vairagya. On that horse, he wants to make him to sit. That means just after telling this whole gnana, and also in the finally he told about bhakti also, the tattvam. Tattvam means he said that is the vadanti tattvavidas tattvam. That is the Brahman Satyam. Yesterday we were discussing. That is nothing but Vasudeva. And one can understand tattvam by what? Just by surrendering to the lotus feet of the devotees. That means Supreme Lord's devotees. So by taking the shelter in the devotees' lotus feet, one can understand that tattvam. So finally he finished. That's so by association only one can get the understanding about tattvam. That he, with this conclusion, he finished that chapter. Now just further, just to help the Rahugana to come out from his material life, so he is just explaining about the material world by the comparing the material world with the forest. Okay, so it is just to bring the renunciation in the Rahugana. That much only. This is the purpose. So there is no philosophical section in this. There is no philosophy in this. Only the main thing is just you have to understand different pains. Most of the things are already in many sections. If you see in the 3rd canto 30th chapter, we have seen how the Grihastha life is very painful. So similarly here also you will be seeing once again different pains occurring in the material life. So that's why it's not a so much analytical one, these 2 chapters. If we finish these 2 chapters, maybe today and maybe tomorrow also we'll read the just slokas and finish. Then Monday we'll finish Sunday we'll give holiday because festival is there. So take holiday, and on Monday we'll finish 15th chapter. On Tuesday onwards, 6th canto. We'll start 6th canto. Okay, 6th canto, because from 16th chapter in the 5th canto, 16th chapter to 26th chapter, total 26 chapters are there. 16 to 26, these chapters are telling about the cosmology actually. And this section will be dealt by Dhira Prashant Prabhu. He'll be coming on June 1st. So June 1st, 10 days he will take 10 chapters or 10 or 11 chapters, whatever. Within 10 days he'll finish. So now that means today is the 13th. So 15th we'll finish the 15th chapter. 15th and 15th on 15th we can finish 15th chapter. Then not 15th, sorry, 16th. 16th we'll finish the 15th chapter. So next 16th onwards we can start till June 1st, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And 22 also we can take Sunday. 6 days plus after that 7 days, 13 days. 13 plus 14, 15. 15 days means we can go half of the exam. Exam I will take till 15 chapter, 5th canto. That will be, exam will be on. Okay, I will tell the examination date also. Those Kanai Krishna Prabhu is coming, he will take care. And so I will conduct exam on 30th, 30. Okay. 5th canto from 1 to 15 chapter. You will be having exam on 30th May. Okay. Monday. First 15 chapters. Okay. So, and by that time, I will finish 6th canto, maybe 10 chapters. And those 10 chapters also I will take another 10 days and that finish. Then once again, you'll be getting the cosmology. Okay. Then cosmology will be finished by, so maybe June 10 or 11. Then after that, another 20 days we have. We can easily finish remaining 6th canto. So we will finish. I have confidence. Yeah. 2 months, 2 cantos is possible. Subodhin, you all have. So take this. Yeah. So only your work is remaining here. Nothing to explain. You all know these things. So this material world, Spain. Just what is there? Just translation and some purpose. Even if I explain also, it's a known thing. It's very simply boring for all of you. So best is you memorize that. That means you take the 13th chapter and 14th chapter. Correlation is there. So in that Subodhan it is given. So memorize that and I will put questions on that. That's all. Finish. But 6th canto, 1st, 2nd, 3rd chapters, lot of discussion is there. We'll spend time there actually. We need a lot of time there. You need to understand many things there. So that's why there we will need to give really time. Here it's not necessary actually. Okay. Let us start. Open book and also sloka test. As I heard that Kanai Krishna Prabhu is going to come on, will be coming on 16th, I think. 16th, he's telling, maybe after Narsingh Chaturdasi festival, maybe. So if he comes, then he will take the, and he will give the schedule of, no. Maybe sloka test he will take, but we don't have time to finish. No? First closed book has to be finished. Then those can be taken by online also. Remaining things. So maybe open book and seminars, essays, these things, seminars, and also the Bhagavatam class can be taken on through online. It will be done through online. Okay. Yes. So next, okay, in this 13th chapter, what is the subject matter? What is the summary of this chapter? So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying like this: Trayodashe bhavatavyaha param prapayitum rupam tam varnayitva vairagya hayam arohayat munihi. So Munihi, who is Muni here? Jadabharat. So Jadabharat is making our king Raugana to sit on a horse. Are? Acha? What is that horse? Vairagyam. The horse name is Vairagyam, renunciation. Why he is making him? So how he is making him to sit on this horse? By explaining the Bhava Atavi, that means material forest. This material forest he is going to explain. So by this explanation he is making, Jadabharata is making Rahugana to sit on the horse of renunciation, so that he can easily cross this material world, material sagara, that is samsara. Okay, this is the summary of this chapter. Next, First sloka, 13th. Brahmana will all together will chant and will finish. Brahmana uvacha duratyaye dvanyajaya niveshito rajastamas sattva vibhakta karma drug sayesha sardortha paribraman bhavatavim yati na sharma vindati. Translation. Radha Gordhan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Danatma.
Yes.
So, Jad Bharat, who had fully realized Brahman, continued. My dear King Rahugana, the living entity wanders on the path of the material world, which is very difficult for him to traverse, and he accepts repeated birth and death. Being captivated by the material world under the influence of the three modes of material nature, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna, the living entity can see only the three fruits of activities under the spell of material nature. These fruits are auspicious, inauspicious, and mixed. He thus becomes attached to religion, economic development, sense gratification, and the monistic theory of liberation, merging with the Supreme. He works very hard day and night, exactly like a merchant who enters a forest to acquire some articles to sell later for profit. However, he cannot really achieve happiness within this material world.
Thank you, Prabhu. What is mainly it is said? Bhavatavim yati na sharma vindati. Bhavatavim yati. That means there is a one merchant, one businessman. He is going in the forest. So here sarthaha. The word sarthaha is there in this sloka. What is the meaning of sarthaha? Tell me from the word to word meaning you see and tell. The living entity falsely seeking sense gratification. What is another meaning of sarthaha? From the kosha. From the kosha of what kosha it is? Medhini. Medhini kosha. There are so many koshas, you know. Amara kosha, Vishwa kosha, and Medhini kosha. Kosha means? Kosha is what? Pandit ji, boliye. Kosha. Dictionary. Kosha means dictionary. So there are several dictionaries are there, Sanskrit to Sanskrit dictionaries. In that kosha, sartaha means what is given? Vanik. Vanik means merchant. So here, that living entity is compared with what? A living entity which is going for the sense gratification is compared with merchant. And this material samsara is compared with forest. Okay? You should remember all this. And don't forget. Otherwise, there is no point in this chapter actually. So you should remember this. So merchant is traveling in a forest. What he is going to see in that forest, we'll see. And so now this forest is compared, material world is compared with the forest. And he is walking in that forest, he is walking on the path. That path is what? Pravrutti margam. So the path in that forest is compared with what? Pravrutti marga means dharma, artha, kama. Moksha is nivrutti. Okay. So this merchant is traveling in the forest on the path of what? On the path of pravrutti marga. That means dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Initially I will write, after that no need to. Merchant Mani Sartha is what? Living entity. It should become okay. Forest. This is material world. Okay. Merchant is living entity which is seeking for sense gratification. Next, that path is religion, economic development, and okay, yes. एतदादीनां व्याख्या उत्तराध्याये एव अस्ति तदपि सुख प्रतिपत्तये किंचित व्याख्यायते. That means these are all merchant, forest, merchant. This path you are all seeing in which chapter? In 13th chapter. And the commentary on this, that means what it means. The meanings are said in which chapter? 14th chapter. Uttaradhyaya means in the next chapter. The 14th chapter. You can see in the 14th. So in the 13th chapter, you are only seeing the description of forest. But what is the commentary on that? That you will be seeing in the 14th chapter. But today only we will be seeing both. So forest, description of forest, and also so commentary. Commentary is nothing but 14th chapter. Okay, 14th chapter is the commentary on 13th chapter. Explanation is a good word. 14th chapter is explanation of 13th chapter. So this is conversation between whom? Parikshit and Sukha. This is Raugana and Jadabharat. Raugana understood. Raugana understood, but Parikshit didn't understand. And he asked. Actually, Parikshit also understood for us. He asked a question. Raugana is very intelligent. Actually. That's why he asked very intelligent questions. So much parishani di. That means you see in that allegorical story of merchant as told by Jadabharata to Rahugana. So from 1 to 19, you can see in Subodhini, a merchant enters a forest to acquire goods in order to sell them later for profit, but he cannot find happiness. So then that is said that the condition, 14th chapter, in the first sloka is telling the commentary. That means 14th chapter, first sloka is commentary on this. The condition soul enters this material world for material happiness. There he becomes conditioned by Maya and suffers in different types of bodies, remains baffled in search for relief, struggle for existence without the shelter of pure devotees. Okay, you have that book? Everyone is having that? It's okay. Next, second sloka. Okay, purport. One can very easily understand how difficult and insurmountable the path of sense gratification is. Not knowing what the path of sense gratification is, one becomes implicated in the repetition of birth and accepts different types of bodies again and again. Thus one suffers in material existence. In this life, one may think that he is very happy being an American, Indian, Englishman, or German. But in the next life, one has to accept another body among 84 lakhs of species. The next body has to be immediately accepted according to karma. One will be forced to accept certain type of body by, and protesting will not help. Protesting will not help means in this present, that means at the Prabhupada, so in the 1960s, 70s, you can see people, there is a revolution. That's a communist, so Marxist and capitalist, their protest. So Chillana, Hallana, this was going on at the time. So by just doing the protest for the, so development of economical development, that is not going to help for us to not to get the another suffering body. So that's why one has to know this spiritual truth, and is really secret, you know. It's real secret is what? So this sense gratification is not really a happiness, and there is another secret thing is there. Secret, that is real happiness. That's Krishna consciousness. From Krishna consciousness you will get. And if you don't know this, you're missing such a big, that means big thing you are losing in your life. And we are so fortunate. We came to know. Huh? We came to know this. And we are told again and again by this Srimad Bhagavatam, not, don't go for sense gratification. But still, even after hearing so many times, everywhere, you see in every story from Priyavrata, Agnidra, Nabi, so Rishabhadev teachings, Jadabharat, Bharat Maharaj, Jadabharat, everywhere what is said. Even if you before, third canto, Kapil Dev's teachings, everywhere. Fourth canto, so that's allegorical story that, so Prachina Barhi's story, before that, everywhere it is said that don't go for sense gratification. But still, we will go for sense gratification. That is a problem. So due to the living entity's ignorance of his eternal blissful life, he becomes attracted to material activities under the spell of Maya. In this world, he can never experience happiness, yet he works very hard to do so. This is called Maya. So that's why, under the illusion, we think that this having family, having the, so money, earning money, doing job, earning money, and spending for the relatives, so wife, children, and we think that it is a great achievement and it's real happiness. What is this? This is a big illusion. And you have important part, okay. It's a big illusion actually. Since we are seeing in the whole society, everyone is doing the same thing, and so like a sheep, if one sheep goes, all other 10 sheep also follow that, and we are like a sheep. We are not knowing that where we are going, but one sheep is going because of ignorance, and another 10 sheep also following, and we are following the 10 sheep. Gorre. In Telugu we say gorre, sheep. बकरी है, बेड़ी है, क्या बोलते हैं? बेड़िया. भेड़ा, भेड़, भेड़, भेड़. But they don't see is the right path or no. No, they go like that. Even there is a ditch, they all go and fell. This is the life. Everyone is getting, that means education, then after that marrying, so going for the marriage, so having children, having building, having car, finish. And this is a lifestyle we are seeing. Everyone is following, and I should also follow this. This is the thing. 1,000 people, whatever is followed, that can be the fact. No, fact is fact. Even one is following, fact is fact. Number count will not work. In the society, generally people what they say. So everyone is doing, why you don't do? Why don't you do? That's a foolishness actually. You should not become a sheep. You should become, so swan. You should be intelligent enough to separate milk and water. चले आगे बढ़े, नहीं चले. it will go. So 13, 14 chapter will be finished. Don't worry. So यस्यामि मे षण्णरदेवदस्यवः सार्धं विलुम्पन्ति कुनायकं बला गोमायवो यत्र हरन्ति सार्थिकं प्रमत्तमाविश्य यथोरुणं मृका. भावग्राही प्रभु.
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Yeah.
O King Rahuguna, in this forest of material existence, there are 6 very powerful plunderers. When the conditioned soul enters the forest to acquire some material gain, the 6 plunderers misguide him. Thus, the conditioned merchant does not know how to spend his money, and it is taken away by these plunderers. Like tigers, jackals, and other ferocious animals in a forest that are ready to take away a lamb from the custody of its protector. The wife, children enter the heart of the merchant and plunder him in so many ways.
This actually here Prabhupada is also writing commentary from the next chapter, actually explanation. Actually it is not there in this. That's wife, children. These things you will hear in the next chapter, actually in the second sloka. So you see here in the second sloka, main thing is 6 plunderers. This merchant is traveling in the forest. Now suddenly there are 6 plunderers. Lootne wale. So plunderers came. The 6 plunderers are who? That is explained in the next chapter. 14. One may earn some money for the advancement of Krishna consciousness, but uncontrolled senses. How many senses we have? We have 6 senses. 6th sense also is there. That's the mind. Is the 6th sense. Manashasthani indriyani. Mind is the 6th sense. My 6th sense is saying means what? My mind is saying. Your mind will say so many things. Many times people say 6th sense. What is 6th sense? The mind. Okay. So the 6 plunderers, they are just plunder the misguided merchant. They take away all the wealth, whatever he is having. This merchant is going. That means the living entity, what is the meaning of this? Which will be coming in the next chapter. So that living entity is earning money. So there is a by doing after hard work, you see, while coming here. So people are in that hot summer, 45 degrees now, almost all. So they are constructing the building. In the hot summer, they are working in, not just standing, also they are working. And they earn money with lot of hard work. And after that, and that money is stolen. Actually, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So dharma, what Sutta Goswami said, telling about the dharma. So what after doing the activity, you will get the artha, money. That money should be utilized for what? For the dharmaikantasya. So here it is said that dharmasya hyapavargasya narthorthayopakalpate narthasya dharmaikantasya kamo labhaya hismritaha kamasya nindriya pritir labho jiveta yavata jivasya tattva jignasa nartho yascheha karma bihi. That means whatever the money we earn, so that money has to be utilized for what? For the sake of, so just for maintaining the body, and remaining things should be utilized for the service of the Lord. This is the thing Sutta Goswami is saying. So dharmaikantasya arthasya kamaha labhaya smritihi. This, the hard-earned money should not be utilized for the sense gratification. Kamaha labhaya smritihi. Arthasya kamaha. That means the utilization of money is not the sense gratification. Sense gratification cannot be the, so one should not utilize the money for the sense gratification. Sutta Goswami clearly saying. But what is happening? Now this merchant is earning hard money. That means living entity is gathering the so much money by hard work, and that is So utilized for the sense gratification. That means senses are the thieves, they are plunderers, and there are jackals also there. Who are those jackals? Jackal is wife and children. So this person is working hard whole day, and wife will say, so you purchase this for me, car, you purchase car for me, you purchase mobile, you purchase this, you purchase that. She will put orders. 1 lakh rupee, 2 lakhs rupees. So he should spend that money. 10 lakhs. So 10 lakh rupees he spent it for purchasing a car for a wife. Then, so hard earned money is going there. He is not able to give donation to the Lord. And what he's going to get? He's going to get nothing. Karma phalam only. That's all. But he's not at all getting anything from. So any spiritual benefit from that, if he offer that to the Lord, then he'll get the spiritual benefit. But no, there is no spiritual benefit. So that's why wife and children are compared, family members are compared with the jackals. Plunder the inattentive merchant. So that means jackals, what they do? This nakkala, guntanakka. So these jackals, what they do? They are always cunning fellows. Actually, jackals are very cunning. Very cunning, and so look for the opportunity and they will take care. They will attack like anything. So similarly, wife and children are also jackals. They will see the opportunity and they will attack, and they will take away all the money. Then after that means, if you ask any sane family man, what you got from the family life, they say nothing. Waste of the time. Really, any sane man, if you say. If someone able to do some devotion, that is another thing. Okay, fine. But otherwise, any materialistic, normal person, sane, sober man, if you ask, did you get anything from this family? Nothing. You ask my father. My father is not so philosopher so much, but just a good man. And what you got? Nothing. Useless, he says. What do you recommend? So better is go for Krishna consciousness. Any sane man say this? Nothing is there. Because this is not the business. This is not the real business of Jivatma. So this is not the real business of Jivatma. Being a living entity, what is your work? So maintaining family and serving here, this is the thing. No. You have to serve the Krishna. That is the eternal activity of the Jivatma. And living that and simply serving here, what is this? Simply waste of time. In the forest, there are many plunderers, dacoits, jackals, and tigers. The jackals are compared to one's wife and children. In the dead of night, jackals cry very loudly. And similarly, one's wife and children in this material world also cry like jackals. Prabhupada knows very nicely because his experience is very bad in his family life. His wife was not at all, he was not liking his wife from the day one. And but still, so he went to his that means he wants to go for another marriage actually. Then his father told that, Hare, you are so lucky fellow. You got such a bad, that means only such a wife whom you are not liking good. That's a boon for you. He was not able to understand initially, but after that he understood. Oh, it is a boon because if we got unliking wife, you don't have any attraction for that wife, it's good. Then you can leave her very soon. Because everything is there for living only, not for leke jayenge kya saath mein. No, you cannot assure that both atmas will go at one time like that together. These are all only movies you can see. In the movies, both are. In reality, nothing actually. Nobody will come. You are going to die, and if you ask her, you want to come, chalo, okay, you go. I will come later. My children is there. My children's children. I have to serve them. I will come later. Huh? Eh? Somaran? Sati, acha. Ah. Sati Sahagamanam. That means they jump into the fire actually. Those they will go to Patilok actually. They're in the material world only there. They will remain in material world both. They will go to that and they will come back together. But what is the use? But Golok you want to go, na? So that's why they will be shouting in the. So wife will, you see in many families, wife always shouts on husband. Of course, wife, husband also shouts on wife, but it is there. It's more because who is earning money? Hard work who is doing? Husband is doing, na? So man is doing or female? But nowadays female are doing. The situation is perverted actually. But otherwise, so now he has to work hard and bringing all the grocery, everything, and she is preparing nicely and eating herself and feeding to her children. She is happy, and then if you make her happy, then she will not attack you. Otherwise, anything is missing something, then immediately you'll get attacked. She will be attacking on you because, like you see in the animals also. So who is having responsibility of growing up the children? Who takes? So male or female? Female. Like you take the hen, all the small chickens. So they do intercourse male and they'll fly, they go away. But in the animal society, it's like that only. Like cows, so and any animal you see, female dogs, female dog, monkeys. So females, they are so much care. They take so much care about the children. They are so much concerned. Male is what only for some flickering pleasure, and after that he wants to fly by his own way. This nature is the nature of the society actually. This nature. And but in the society, in the other way, if we, like animals also, it is given a chance for the humans also, then what will happen actually? So that's why in the we had regulation, rules, dharma is there. So you should become a husband, and then otherwise, if you don't take care of her, then all other members in the society they will be ban you. Because of this fear also, you will be so following the regulations and rules. Otherwise, they will not give any work for you. They will not give you any water also. Such a situation. That is the society actually. That's a human society. Following the Varna and Ashrama rules is needed. Is needed or not? It's very much needed. So this is generally we see the society like this. So female, what is that? That females they have the so much concern about the children. So how the child is growing, it is eating or not eating, so much care she gives. And also his future, and he should study here. And for that, she is giving the generally, you earn this much money, and next 2 years, the boy is growing, he will be getting 4 years old. Then you have to join in the school, where in the 1 month, 30,000 rupees. So fees. Then 1 year in BJS, 3,50,000. 1 month, 30,000 rupees they take in our Gurukul. 1 month, 30,000. So he'll be putting it. Yes. So our child is within 3 years, so 5 years old. So 30,000 per day, per month. So that means 1 year, 3 lakhs, you should at least 4 lakhs you should earn. So this much you should, and you should increase, you should work hard. What you are doing. If you do work like this, then we should be begging. You should do extra hours and go for increment, write exams and pass exams and go for the higher jobs. She'll always shouting on you. You think that so much happiness, but like this every minute increase. If you are doing business, do more business, do, because she's calculating all this. So Prabhupada is saying that's why they cry like jackals, and there is no peace. No peace. The children say, Father, this is wanted. Give me this. I am your dear son. Papa, de do, Papa. So this. And the wife says, I am your dear wife. Please give me this. This is now needed. So Sunday, if you take to her on the, that means bike to market, 4,000, 5,000 rupees bill, over 5,000. One weekend, 10,000. Based upon your earnings, she will be increasing her demands. And 1 month, 4 weekends, 4,000, 10,000, 40,000 out. This will be going to happen. You are so lucky, you are all lucky, brahmacharis who are saved from this. If you have any interest of going for family life, so remember, study these purports. Then all brahmacharis should be brahmacharis only. No marriage. Good. But at least you should save in this life. Why you have to enter into that? Do service. We have 24-hour service. In IBM, we have 24-hour service. You should study, and also you should teach, go for preaching. So many things are there. This is now needed. In this way, one is plundered by the thieves in the forest. Not knowing the aim of human life, one is constantly being misguided. The aim of life is Vishnu. Everyone works very hard to earn money, but no one knows that his real self-interest is in serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See, if you give full energy to the Lord, that is best or not? If you go for marriage life, more than half is gone. Why you have to lose that? If you are intelligent enough, what you will do? Tapomai? Only one. You will fully focus on one thing only. That's the Lord. Serve only the Lord. Why you have to enter into the entanglement? Family and this. So whoever entered already, they also try to wind up. Plan for wind up. Soon, like Prabhupada also started, that means winding up. If you don't plan for wind up, you will never wind up. Whole life is like that only. Dragging. What time you will drag actually? Stop that means earning hard, reduce all your material desires and reduce the time and energy to earn money. Put more and more energy in preaching and in the studying Bhagavatam, doing more chanting on these things. That's good. Because this is not the business of the Jivatma. In this material world, you don't have any business. This is not the business. Instead of spending money for advancing the Krishna consciousness movement, one spends his hard-earned money on clubs, brothels, liquor, slaughterhouses, and so forth. Due to sinful activities, he becomes implicated in the progress of transmigration and thus has to accept one body after another. Okay, next. Prabhuta virutruna gulma gahware kantoradam shairmashakairupadrutah kvachittu gandharvapuram prapashyati kvachit chashura yolmukha graham. Who is there? Vipin Purandar Prabhu is not there, I think. Traveling, okay. Jai Gopinath Prabhu.
Direction.
Yes, Prabhu.
In these forests, there are dense bowers composed of thickest of bushes, grass, and creepers. In these bowers, the conditioned soul is always disturbed by cruelly biting mosquitoes, envious people. Sometimes he sees an imaginary palace in the forest, and sometimes he is bewildered by seeing a fleeting fiend or ghost, which appears like a meteor in the sky.
Thank you, bro. What else? This traveler, this businessman is seeing in the forest so many other things. See what he is seeing. There are thickets of bushes, grass and creepers. Thickest bushes, grass and creepers. What it means? That is explaining that bushes are nothing but dense bowers composed of thickest of bushes, grass, and that's nothing but what? The Grihastha Ashrama is a field of fruitive activity. Unless the desire to enjoy family life is completely burnt off, it returns again and again like weeds among crops. So these bushes are compared with what? Fruitive activities. So now I don't, next we are seeing the all parallelly two chapters, okay? And I don't go for the 14th chapter. This is only the 14th chapter. 13 and 14 together we are doing, okay? You should remember this. And just slokas you should read and out. And I will not read slokas also. Self-study, 14th chapter. Okay? Because we are seeing now only everything. And what else are there in that forest? Bushes over. Next. Tell me, if you tell quickly, then I will go further. Mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are biting me also here. I don't know. This real mosquito is biting me here. These mosquitoes are what? Low class men who are like biting mosquitoes, and thieves who are like, what is that? Locusts, vultures, and rats. Yeah, this from 14th chapter. You can take that Subodhini, bro. Huh? File you don't have? File you can take from file, someone. If you see file, then it will be easy. This is 5th sloka in 14th chapter. Okay. He is afflicted by low class men who are like biting mosquitoes. So see, and what else is there in that image? That means sometimes he sees an imaginary palaces. Forest, he is seeing a big palace. These palaces are nothing but what? So because his mind is absorbed in the lusty fruity activities, he sees the material world as permanent, where he drinks, eats, and has sex. Being overly attached, he chases after sense objects just as deer chase a mirage in the desert. This traveler, this merchant is seeing in the forest big palaces. That is nothing but, so this living entity, conditioned living entity, sees that this material world as permanent. The sense gratification as permanent. But this sense gratification, these material objects, all are also illusory and temporary. They are not permanent. And what else are there? Ghost. This merchant is seeing ghost also in the forest. Some big ghost. So looks like a meteor. These ghosts are nothing but what? The living entity desires gold and runs after it. Gold is the source of material opulence and envy. People in passion are attracted to it. This ghost is compared with the gold. Purport, the material household is actually a whole of fruity activity. Bushes are nothing but fruity activities. To earn a livelihood, one engages in different industries and trades. And sometimes one performs great sacrifices to go to higher planetary systems. Apart from this, at least everyone is engaged in earning a livelihood in some profession or occupation. In these dealings, one has to meet many undesirable people, and their behavior is compared to be biting of mosquitoes. That means when you go for any work, how your owner will be treating? If you work, then you can, your boss, you all worked, you all know the treatment, how they were treating you. So that means the disrespectful way. Even if you come late, so disrespectful way they treat, and they will be forcing, they will be always so giving the scoldings. So these low class men are mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are low class men. This creates very undesirable conditions. In the midst of these disturbances, one imagines that he is going to construct a grand house and live there permanently, although he knows that he cannot. So this gold is compared to a quickly fleeting fiend, which appears like a meteor in the sky. It displays itself for a moment and is then gone. Generally, karmis are attracted to gold or money, but these are compared here to ghosts and witches. Next, Nivasato ya dravinatma buddhis tatastato dhavati bho atavyam kvachicchavatyot tapam sudruma disho na jananti rajaswalakshaha. Is there? Is there? Is there? Sumati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Pranam Prabhu. My dear king, the merchant on the forest path of the material world, his intelligence victimized by whom, wealth, relatives, and so forth, runs from one place to another in search of success. Sometimes his eyes are covered by the dust of whirlwind. That is to say, in his lust, he is captivated by the beauty of his wife, especially during her menstrual period. Thus, his eyes are blinded and he cannot see where to go or what he is doing.
Yes. So this is fourth sloka. His intelligence is victimized by home, wealth, relatives, and so forth. He runs from one place to another in search of success. So that means in that forest, he's keep on searching for his home, wealth, relatives, and so and so. He runs from one place to another in search of success. So that means he's not finding here, he's not finding here. That means in that forest he's searching. So then how to what is the explanation for this? That means he's absorbed in finding residential quarters, water, and riches to maintain his body. Thus he forgets everything and perpetually runs around in the forest of material existence. You know, after marriage, what is the next target you will be given by your wife? Chaitanya Jivan, do you know? So what target she gives? So she will never like to stay in rented house because so many problems. Because the owner always, that's landlord, will give pain like anything. Hey, you should not dry your clothes here. You should not do this. You should not do this. And this wife is not able to bear this, and she will torture you like anything. You should have your own house. Get the first to your own house. This target will be given to you. And take the loan. You are earning 1 lakh per month, and you will be taking 40 lakhs of rupees to construct or to have one flat. 40 lakhs generally in the nowadays in Bangalore city, 40 to 50 lakhs you need. Then EMI every month you should pay 40,000 for 20 years, 25 years. That means by the age you get 50 years, that house will become yours. Till that time you have every month you should pay 40,000. Every month you should pay 40,000, and you have fear of that. If I lose this job, then I will not pay them my EMI. Then you have always pressure and always be submissive to your boss. Maharaj. You will be always in tension. If I lose this job, what will happen? How I will pay 40,000? Where to get? And after that, you will, next to what she will give target to you? Car. Take car. We have 2 children, and we cannot go on bike. It's over. In the young age, it's okay. In the new year, first year is okay. In bike riding nice. In the second year, third year, fourth year, okay. 2 years, 3 years. Then after that, a small baby. Then how? She cannot sit on the bike with the baby. Very risky. Then you have to have car. For car, you should 15 lakhs you need. Good car. Chaitanya Jivan, 15 lakhs. पंडित जी कहाँ से आएगा? So 15 lakhs. So 15 lakhs of rupees. Otherwise, no value for you actually. You want to be pujari in ISKCON and you want to marry, then you will get juta mare. Bekar. Every day, bekar, bekar, bekar. This word you will hear every day, from morning to evening. Till the night also, in dream also, she will be coming in your dream, telling that you are bekar. No car, car. You have no car. Let's say. This real story. Thousands of couples, thousands, millions, lakhs of people in Bangalore. You go, my friends who joined in the companies along with me. I also worked for 3 years. I know hundreds and thousands of examples for this. Everyone, that means all the engineers nowadays, lakhs of people, crores of people are like this. They're just in all the time the pressure, pain. Even who are earning 2 lakhs per month, still they have big EMIs. So my friend purchased 2 crores of one house, 2 crores, and he has that much big EMI and big earning. Same. Everyone is having. So that's why they will be thinking for this. Best is what? So chant Hare Krishna, be happy, and distribute holy name. Read Bhagavatam, read Sandarbhas, and engage your more and more time. 24 hours do Kirtan, Shravanam, and do service, direct devotional service, and make your life successful and go back. Yeah. Sometimes his eyes are covered by, okay. So purport, it is said that household attraction resides in the wife because sex is the center of household life. Yan maithunadi gruhamedi sukam hi tucham. So a materialistic person making his wife the center of attraction works very hard day and night. Because Lord has created such a way, females, so that they will be speaking very sweetly. Sweet words and sweet activities, very much attractive for the male. And by seeing all those, they will be getting that means all the time that is inspiring him. Yes, I should get her, I should get her, I should get her. Because you have this kind of attraction from the many millions of the lifetimes. And because of this, you'll be easily attracted for this. And it's always giving inspiration. Then after that, oh, Mataji is also devotee. You'll put the sari of the devotee on her. But inside, what you have lust. What is the inspiration? So why don't you make your parents devotees? Why don't you serve your parents? If you want to serve, but you want to serve only Mataji. You want to preach Mataji and want to serve Mataji. You are not working hard to take your parents, to make your parents devotees. Are you thinking? Who gave birth to you? Who gave whole life to you? So are you thinking for them? And you have to make them to travel the different dhams and give the money and earn money for them. Are you for that? For young girl, you are very much interested to serve and to make her devotee. And for her devotion, I am doing this marriage. क्या marriage रे? किसको बोलते आप? To whom you are saying? Just bogus. If you have desire, then you shall. It's material attraction, that's all. Then so many are there. You can make devotees. Millions are there. Parents are there. Brother is there. Sister is there.
That's true, but varnashrama is important, and not everybody can become a
Okay.
brahmachari.
No. I don't reject that. So that's why we should give full encouragement. But still, if someone is not catching, then let them go for. Yeah. But we should give 100% faith and 100% clarity. If you don't give 100% clarity, then it's a cheating actually. Bhagavat is clearly saying. So this material life, this family life is entanglement only. It's clearly saying. Then you should say boldly like that only. And still someone is interested, okay, go. We are not rejecting them, but we should try for taking out only. Yes. Teach the teachings of Shastra as it is. Don't hide it. And for devotees, it's not like that. This not like that. No. What is the fact is your fact. You should teach. So for devotees means then why don't you serve everyone? Why don't you serve everyone actually? Why you have to devote only one Mataji? Why don't you work for everyone then? If devotion only is there, then you should say that I have material attraction also. Then you go. That means fully surrendering to the Guru and fully working for as per his instructions is the Ananya Bhakti. Full, complete surrenderance and doing whatever he wants. Yesterday we were studying in Bhakti Sandarbha, Atma Nikshepaha. That means fully surrendering to Guru and submitting, and I am nothing, I am so helpless. You are master, my master. Whatever you say, I will follow. Then that kind of surrenderance is the best for the Jivatma. That is the thing. And instead of surrendering to the Guru fully, so you are surrendering to somewhere, then how can you say that is the highest? No. There is attraction. Even actually, so Grihasthas also, that just on the name of, oh, she is devotee, I am devotee, but inside only material enjoyment. Don't cheat yourself. Definitely you should leave your material attachment. You should make your material attachment even in the family life zero. Otherwise, you will never go back to the Godhead. You will never go back. If you have even a slight amount of the attachment for the wife, or the wife on the husband, you will never go back. That is obstacle actually. You have to renounce. You may in the one house, but you have to completely renounce. There should not be any kind of sense gratification, material gratification. There should not be. You have to fully surrender to the Lord, not to husband or not the wife. And that has to come. Otherwise, no. No chance. So gradually we are trying to uplift through the Grihastha ashram, but ultimately every Jivatma fully surrendered to the Lord. That is guaranteed. Those who strictly follow the rules and regulations of household life engage in sex only once a month at the end of menstrual period. So we'll go for back one. Some Grihasthas it is needed, so I will read this. His only enjoyment in material life is sexual intercourse. Therefore, karmis are attracted to women as friends or wives. Indeed, they cannot work without sex. If there is no sex pleasure and there is no attraction for the woman, anyone will go for the marriage? No one will go. Just for getting children and working like donkey, and there is no pleasure, zero pleasure. Anyone will go? Nobody will go. Nobody will go. That means materialistic people, nobody will go. So that's why marriage life means, yes, for the general people, karmis is a sexual intercourse. Therefore, karmis are attracted to women as a friend or wives. Indeed, they cannot work without sex. Under the circumstances, the wife is come to a worldwide, especially during her menstrual period. Those who strictly follow the rules and regulations of householder life engage in sex only once a month. Why once a month? At the end of the menstrual period. That means only once in a month they get the menstrual period. So after the completion of that period only, they has to have the intercourse. Because that is the even days, if they have that means intercourse, then they will get the male child. And odd days, they'll get female child. And also other factors also there. But only once in a month, because once only they will get the menstrual period, and at that time they can have that means intercourse. So to get the child, it's not that after getting child also every months, I will go, I will have sex. Is it that? No. Like brahmacharis, we are completely for whole life, we are restrained ourselves from the sex life or not. Similarly, grihasthas also, only to get children they have to have. It's not, you should not make a rule that every month once. Why every month once is said? There is a particular reason is there. Because every month once they will get menstruation period. To get a child, that is a proper time to have intercourse. It's not that every month once I will do. Even after having children, 50 years will do, keep on doing. It's a bogus. You are not following the 4 regulative principles at all. And taking Diksha, what is this? What you did vow at the time of Diksha? 4 regulative principles I will follow. Where you are following? You told to your Gurudev, I will follow 4 regulative principles, and you are not following. What is this? You don't have any faith on your Guru. And you are not strictly following the simple basic, and you want Golok. मजाक है क्या? गोलोक है, लड्डू है क्या? मार्केट का खरीद लेंगे? ऐसा नहीं होता है. You should commit. Those who strictly follow the rules and regulations of household life engage in sex only once a month. So then Prabhu, only for maybe 2 children, when 2 times, that's all. 2 times, that's all. It's only little pleasure and I need to go for this much pain. Then don't go. If you don't want to go, then don't go. Who said to you to go? See, other way of that means I will not have gross sex, but I can have kiss, this, that. No, that is also sex. That is also sex. You are doing, you are violating your 4 regulative principles. That is ashram. Then only you will get the proper child. Then if you are not satisfied with this much pleasure, and you don't want to go for, then don't go. Who said to go? There is someone is there to marry that girl. Leave that girl. Then some other will marry. Don't worry. You be brahmachari then. If you have that much intelligence, then be brahmachari. Anyone stopping you? Nobody is stopping. Na? Chaitanya Jivan bro. As one looks forward to this opportunity, so his eyes are overwhelmed by the beauty of his wife. As one looks forward to this opportunity, so his eyes are overwhelmed by the beauty of his wife. Actually, after menstruation, menstrual, what is that? Menstruation, menstrual period. So generally female, they get so urge actually, because their body is like that. After the so finishing of that 5 days, so they feel to have sex. So then that's why. So by seeing that kind of situation, so then automatically husband will get attraction for her. Thus, it is said that the whirlwind covers the eyes with the dust. Then he will become lusty by seeing her urge. She may not express directly, but her activities will be like that. Then immediately, so he will feel, oh, all his intelligence gone, and he will attracted by her. That means that is compared here with what? Dust in eyes. Dust. Such a lusty person doesn't know that all his material activities are being absorbed by different demigods, especially the sun god, and are being recorded for the karma of one's next body. Everything is noted. Ashtadikpalakas are there. All are, even one is missing, another is there. Don't worry. Yamaraj is there. Sun is there. Moon. Ashwini Kumaras. In the material world, so comes from the different stars and planets. The science is called Jyoti Shastra, the science of the luminaries. By the calculation of Jyoti, our future is indicated. In other words, all the luminaries, the stars, the sun and moon, witness the activities of the conditioned soul. Thus, he is awarded a particular type of body. A lusty person whose eyes are covered by the dust of the whirlwind of material existence doesn't at all consider that his activities are being observed by different stars and planets and are being recorded. These people, कोई नहीं देख रहे हैं तो क्या होता है? सब देख रहे हैं. Everyone is watching. Everything is recorded. Not knowing this, the conditioned soul commits all kinds of sinful activities for the satisfaction of his lusty desires. So that's why best always so be in touch with the Srimad Bhagavatam. Read Bhagavatam. Read the commentaries. Teach, preach, engage yourself in devotional activities. Kush raho. It's the best actually. Very rare chance actually this life. And that too, we came to the right moment and also in the right place. And why we have to waste our time in other business? Next. Smell is coming. Rat मर गया. है बंद करिए. Next, adrushya jilliswana karna shula uluka vagbir vetitantaratma apunya vrukshan shrayate kshudartito marichito yanya vidhavati kvachit. Why you are all not reading actually? Not following with me? Silent. Translation. Who is there? Radha Rohini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam.
Yes, Mataji.
Translation. Wandering in the forest of the material world, the conditioned soul sometimes hears an invisible cricket making harsh sounds, and his ears become very much aggrieved. Sometimes his heart is pained by the sounds of owls, which are just like the harsh words of his enemies. Sometimes he takes the shelter of a tree, that has no fruits or flowers. He approaches such a tree due to his strong appetite, and thus he suffers. He would like to acquire water, but he is simply illusioned by a mirage and he runs after it.
Thank you, Mataji. So here few things are said. You have to see what are those. So fifth, mirage. To acquire water, he runs after a mirage. So what it means? It is said in the 10th sloka of next chapter. Sometimes he appreciates the futility. What is that? Futility of sense gratification. But due to his bodily conception, he forgets and again runs after material enjoyment. So futility of sense gratification, that means it's very cheap. Sex life. So it's a very flickering pleasure. Only for few moments you'll get pleasure. And you lose the whole energy completely. Body is weak. You know this is very cheap and useless. But still going back again and again. Like running behind mirage. You know there is no water. But still you are attracted for that and running. मिल जाएगा क्या मिल जाएगा कुछ नहीं मिल जाएगा. What you will get? Nothing you will get. You will run. You are hankering for sex, having sex, and making big plan and lot of money you spend and so much time you give to make a girl to accept. To convince a girl, you should spend a lot of time to. That means illegal also. Even if you want to do illegal, you need to pamper like anything. Months and months, you should pamper. And you should spend so much money. And then after that, only for little pleasure. Finish. Gone. And you will be disappointed like anything after that. What is this much only? Was. Then once again, you will be catching one more. What is this? But still you will not learn from this first one. People, young boys in the colleges, spending hours and hours. So much time in this. Running behind the, chasing the girls. Woman hunters. Man hunters also are there nowadays. So many are there. You see, population, man hunters population is increased than the woman hunters. Because Kali Yuga, everything is reverse. Girls are running behind the boys nowadays. Many places. In Srimad Bhagavatam, so what adults is said in this? Next to in the 5th sloka only. Sometimes his heart is pained by hearing the sounds of owls and invisible, what is it? Crickets. So what is this? What is the explanation of this? That means it is said in the 11th sloka of the next chapter. He is aggrieved by the chastisement of his enemies and government servants who use harsh words. At the time, his heart and ears become very saddened. You know, these government servants are like a bloodsuckers. Even to do a small activity, they take thousands of rupees for bribe. And after that also they don't do anything. And they will scold like anything. Kya? Bar bar aate kyun? Ja. And they don't respect, they no respect you what you are. Even they don't treat you like a good human being. So that's the eternal fact actually. After becoming a government employee, so everyone will do like that. Almost. This is the natural actually. And also for the tax. So we are just now smoothly taken. In the previous they used to collect. They will be coming and holding your collar. Give me tax. Yes. And next, what is said in this sloka? One more. Sometimes he takes shelter of impious trees impious trees that have no fruits or flowers. So what is the explanation of this? So when his pious credits are finished, he takes shelter of wealthy men, the living dead who cannot help him in this life or the next. That means once his whole money is over, then he will be going to a wealthy man and he will never give him a single coin. घुमाते रहते हैं बस. Okay, chalo. So the purport in Srimad Bhagavatam it is said that Bhagavad philosophy is meant for people who are completely free from envy. Paramo nirmatsaranam. The material world is full of envious people. Full of envious. If you purchase 1 acre land, then in whole village there will be a talk. How he got money? Maybe he did this, did that. And they will be disturbing in many ways. They will not allow you to purchase. They will tell to that person who is selling how much you are giving, how much he is giving. So 50 lakhs. Are 50 lakhs? Your land is 70 lakhs. Why you are giving for him 50 lakhs? Don't give. They don't allow you peacefully. They don't allow you to live. Even whatever you do, they will feel envious and they say something. For example, you purchased a bike. They have enviousness. They say that, Are, you spent 80,000. You could have purchased that model that is very good, na? Because out of envious, because they don't want to see you happy. They will put such a bija in you, seed in you. Always you'll be thinking, Are, maybe I didn't do that. So I could have done that. Then they will become happy. No, it's good. You should not be happy. This is material actually. Whatever you do, for everything they will put something, some akshepa. Even within one's inner cycle, there is much backbiting. And this is compared to the sound vibration of a crickets in the forest. Backbiting. They don't say anything in front of you and in the backside. One cannot see the cricket, but one hears its sounds and thus becomes aggrieved. When one takes to Krishna consciousness, one always hears unpalatable words from relatives. So then they will say that his son, that Falana Tikana's son became brahmachari. He loved one girl and love failure, and that's why he became brahmachari. They'll be saying in the fact. And actually he is not having potential to have a child, and that's why he became brahmachari. That means in back, when father is traveling on the road, and they say backside, and they laugh. This, if someone came to know Krishna consciousness and if they became brahmachari, then in the village, so he was, that means his company fired him out, not able to work. That is finally, so he became brahmachari, sannyasi ban gaya. So they removed from the job. And he lost job, that's why he is like that, they say. So many ways. In the backside, they keep on unpalatable words from relatives. This is must. Always hears unpalatable words from relatives. This is the nature of the world. One cannot avoid mental distress due to the backbiting of envious people. It's always, it will be there. It will be there. Even in the devotees also who are purified, they don't do backbiting. Even devotees who are not fully purified, who are conditioned, But don't worry. If you want to get the final success, travel will like a dhira. Be with strong-hearted and don't get deviated. And understand that this is a fact, this is the nature of the world. And keep on, that means travel towards your goal. Being very much aggrieved, sometimes one goes to a sinful person for help, but has no means to help because he has no intelligence. Sometimes we'll go to such a wrong place, we'll go to take the suggestions. Then once again, we are getting the distress from there. Thus, the living entity is disappointed. This is like running after a mirage in the desert in an effort to find water. Such activities don't produce any tangible results. Due to being directed by illusory energy, a conditioned soul suffers in so many ways. Okay, I will take question bank for these two chapters from Subodhini. Okay. They might have asked so many questions. Okay, next. Huh? Any? 60? In two chapters. Till only 65. Only 15 chapters, 65 is nothing. Or 2 marks, 1 mark is not a. Yeah. Kwachid with क्वचित् द्वितोया सरितोभियाति परस्परं चालशते निरन्दः आसाद्य दावं क्वचिदग्नितप्तो निर्विद्यते क्वच यक्षैर्हृतासुः. नित्यमुकुंद प्रभु. Voice is not audible. No. Okay. Take from Kirti. The Kirti. Take from Yashoda Kirti Mataji. Off him. Mute it.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Should I read
Yes,
Guruji?
Mataji. Yeah.
Seventh,
Your voice is not at all audible, so please mute it.
seventh shlok, Prabhuji. Right?
Sixth Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji. Sometimes the conditioned soul jumps into a shallow river, or being short of food grains, he goes to beg food from people who are not at all charitable. Sometimes he suffers from the burning heat of household life, which is like a forest fire. And sometimes he becomes sad to have his wealth, which is as dear as life. Sad to have his wealth, okay, which is as dear as life, plundered by kings in the name of heavy income tax.
Yes. In the sixth, he jumps into a shallow river. See, it is compared. It is what is the explanation for this? That means to mitigate his distress, the conditioned soul receives cheap blessings from atheist or pseudo gurus. In their association, he lost all intelligence. That means shallow river. Jumping into shallow river means taking shelter of atheist gurus. Sometimes he begs food from others. That means when he cannot arrange for his own maintenance, he tries to exploit his own father or son. Next, in this sixth, what is there? One more. He suffers from the burning heat of the forest fire. That means in that forest, there is sometimes fire is there. And this fire is compared with what? Family life has nothing favorable for perpetual happiness. He is burned by the fire of lamentation and condemns himself as being unfortunate and impious. So that means in the family life also you have. Sometimes he suffers from the burning heat household life. Household life is like a burner. You are sitting behind a burner. Don't see from the outside like this. It's like a burner. Sitting on a burner. See the purport, you can understand then. Prabhupada is writing. So when one is hard due to scorching sun and sometimes jumps into a river to gain relief. However, if the river is almost dried up and the water is too shallow, one may break his bones. One may break his bones by jumping in. Prabhupada so nicely here. So shallow river is nothing but pseudo sannyasis or Swamijis. Because of this family life, one may get so much pain in the family life and they go to mantrik, tantric, this, that. So many problems. Child is not walking nicely and wife is not following him, is not at all, she is hearing him, and child is not able to walk and every day is getting disease. Ulti. Whatever he eats, he is vomiting it. And so many problems like this. Neighbors, they are encroaching. Relatives, they are always so telling that, blaming that you are not attending this function, that function because of your work, and you cannot take leaves from your office. Your boss is always riding on you. Out of all these problems, what you will do? Hare Krishna, you will do. It's very difficult actually. Some people, they say that, Prabhuji, I want most unfavorable condition like mother Kunti Maharani. So Shashwat Vipadaha Santunaha. So I want this kind of pain so that I can do more devotion. You can find this kind of people. That's why I'm accepting this. Rangamay Prabhu, you want Vipadaha Santunaha? No? What is this? Huh? You don't know. But Kunti Maharani is setting example. Na? If we get more and more problems in the life, then you will be more and more surrendering. That's good, na? Then we should also ask, and we should. What do you say, Sarnakant Prabhu, for this in the mic?
If unfavorable situation
Huh?
comes, if unfavorable situation comes in our life, then that is good because is giving me not marriage life, but any other like a disease and something else.
Yes.
That is good for us.
Yes.
We should not expect that it
should not desire.
But if Lord gives,
Then okay.
Okay.
But actually, you see, so it is very nice. That means hearing from the Kunti Maharani's prayers. So she is asking these so many sufferings, and wow, it's inspiring. So Prabhuji, I am also entering into the Grihastha life. It is full of miseries, and I will also following Kunti Maharani, and I will be so remembering Krishna all the time. But actually, you will not remember Krishna. You will remember the pain all the time. Pain. The pain is so heavy. Even in that pain, you will forget about everything actually. So it's also cheating actually. On the name of philosophy, cheating ourselves. Maya is so subtle, so subtle. इतना घुस जाती है, इतना अंदर घुस जाती है. She will come with the just decorating herself as a beautiful so Bhakti Maharani. Outwardly she looks like Bhakti Maharani, but inside if you see, there is a desire, material desire. You are covering your material desire with the philosophy. So that's why you have to chan been karke. You have to filter your consciousness completely. धो डालना है एकदम. You should clean your consciousness. That is the Hare Krishna moment. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is a moment for cleaning moment. This is. You should understand the how you are. So that means you are becoming yourself as you are cheating yourself. You are cheating yourself. You have to see barik tarika se. That means very subtly you should see. Is there any sense gratification? Catch it and remove it. The conditioned soul is always experiencing miserable conditions. Sometimes his efforts to get up from friends are exactly like jumping into a dry river. By such actions, he doesn't derive any benefit. He only breaks his bones, sometimes suffering from a shortage of food. One may go to a person who is neither able to give charity nor willing to do so. So you went to that means now you lost job because of crisis, because of so many other problems, corona, this and that, and you are not having any money. And sometimes you'll get in the family also problems, all of a sudden. So there is a big disease for your son. There is a hole in the heart. 10 lakh rupees you want, and your earning is only so 50,000 per month. And you have so only that means for monthly expenses nowadays, if you have wife and a child and 2 children, how much money you need, for a basic life, 35,000 in a small place, not in a big metropolitan city. Metropolitan city means at least 60,000 you need. House rent, 20,000. 2 BHK for family, for your wife and your children and your parents. If you take 2 BHK, it is 15 to 20,000. Now house rent. You brahmacharis all you should know the numbers actually. Keep update of everything. And you know how much. So for the grocery, these, that, phone bills, everything, if you calculate, it will reach almost all 50 to 60,000. Very high. And you have such a, now your child got disease of 10 lakh rupees you want. कहाँ से ले आएंगे? बोलिए. And you went to some person and you are asking, he is hearing and he is making to you hear all his story, and finally you are getting opportunity for 5 minutes to speak, and you said that, Prabhuji, I want money. Then he says, just I put my whole money in my business, recently. I purchased land recently. I cannot give. You heard his story for 2 hours, and finally he says that. Then he is leaving that place and going to another place. Material world is not so easy. It's like anything. It's so painful. You will not get any sleep. And if you are not able to cure it, you have so much attachment for your child. After so many months, after so many years of tapasya, you got a child and you have a hole in the heart. Then what you will do? And no sleep, sleepless nights, so many will go on. Otherwise, he got some other more diseases, not able to walk, some paralyzed, polio, this, that. And you have to feed him every day. Like my sister got a child. So from the now 24 years, that child is having age. Still, she has to feed every day. Such a problem she's having. It's like that means you might be thinking beautifully, yes, nice wife, nice family. But after marriage, child is such a child. Is there any guarantee? Is there any guarantee that you will get the perfect child? And some who are not having the hands properly, legs properly, like child you got. Then what you will do? Every day you should serve all the time. For even toilet, 1, 2, everything, even for every food, everything you only should do that. Then your life is samadhi. Okay, khatam. Okay, next. When a man is having heavily taxed by the government, he becomes very sad. Like now, in the now revenue department, what they are doing, they are finding the land which is near to the village, and they are thinking that, oh, this is land is very near to village, and it should be according to them. They themselves think that it's a commercial land. It can be used for the housing section, and they declare themselves housing, and they are sending the 10 lakhs of fine. You convert your land, agricultural land, into non-agriculture, and for that this is a fees, and for already it is announced as a non-agricultural land, and that's why you should pay this much amount of money. If you don't pay, then there will be a fine. And now we got 8 lakhs of rupees. So fine from the government. Father is king. Government, they want to get money from the people. They will always pass the new rules, and they will suck money from you. Then there is no sleep in the night, sleepless nights. Heavy taxation obliges one to hide his income, but despite this endeavor, the government agents are often so vigilant and strong that they take all money anyway. Did you see any chapter in the Bhagavatam? So family life is very beautiful and it's very nice, and it is very cooperative for your bhakti. Did you see any one chapter? Chaitanya, did you see any one chapter till now in 6 cantos? Is encouraging. New Bhagavatam. One chapter did you see? One line did you see? Sarveshu Shamsundara Prabhu, is there any one line? Encouraging your life here, family life. Beautiful family life is good for the Krishna consciousness. Everywhere, leave it. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam stam. Projita kaitava. So thus people are trying to become happy within the material world, but this is like trying to be happy in the forest fire. So that's why this material world is like a samsara dava, is a forest fire, and in the forest fire you want to be enjoyed. You may think that from the far, that means, oh, this is a winter season, forest fire is good. But when you kept in that fire, then you will understand, even it is a winter, maybe for 1 second you'll get happiness. Then after that, when body is getting burned, even in the winter season also, how much fire you like? Only 1 minute. Then after that, you'll go. People are trying to become happy within this material world, but this is like trying to be happy in the forest fire. No one need go to a forest to set it blaze. Fire takes place automatically. Similarly, no one wants to be unhappy in family life or worldly life, but by the laws of nature, unhappiness and distress are forced upon everyone. Don't think that my life will be nice life, my family life will be nice life. Hey brahmachari, if you think that my life will be very nice, my family life will be very nice, my wife will be so nice, my children will be so nice, my in-laws will be so nice, if you think like this, you are cheating yourself. Prabhupada is writing, you see, everyone, forced upon everyone. If you are believing in these words, save your time and energy and focus on the service and spend more and more to become Ananya Bhakta. 24 hours. Try to do 24 hours devotion. This is best. This is the best solution. Dharma projita kaitavotra. Similarly, no one wants to be, okay, next. To become dependent on another's maintenance is very degrading. It's very degrading. And sometimes on the strength of our ISKCON temples, they want to become grihasthas. It's also very difficult. It's very difficult. Sometimes brahmacharis, so they don't have any earnings. For 10 years, 15 years, they are brahmacharis, and now they are going for marriage, and they want to do pujari work, seva, and maintain the family. Is it possible? Here, money, every rupee is given for the service of the Lord. Maybe some little money for maintenance they may give, but how many needs are there? It's very difficult. And being then after that going for the outside and family life is very torture. That means depending for maintenance of yourself and you are depending on others is a really very painful thing actually. And you are dependent on others for your job. It's really very painful. That's why previously they used to have the 2-3 acres of land, 4 acres of land. They used to work hard. They don't want to dependent on anyone. But nowadays people are depending on the big merchants, business people. And it's like a painful life. When they will remove and whatever nonsense he speaks, he behaves, you should bear that. Because you have 40,000 rupees of EMI. Otherwise your job will be, you will be losing your job. Therefore, according to Vedic system, everyone should be live independently. That is, how to live independently in this time. How it is possible? Only the way is living on the land. Land, cows, and Krishna. If you want to become Grihastha, then take the piece of land and work hard. Don't depend on anyone. Even if you want to become, only depend on the land. Okay. They are obliged to serve someone for maintenance. It is said in the Shastras, Kalau Sudra Sambhavaha. In this age of Kali, everyone is dependent on another's mercy for maintenance of the body. Therefore, everyone is classified as Sudra. So because they are dependent, but dependence means Sudra. In the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that in the Kali Yuga, the government will levy taxes without reciprocally benefiting the citizens. So much GST, so much money they are taking, even you don't know. Whatever you are purchasing, a toothpaste and toothbrush, and everything they are taking so much tax, sucking your blood. In this age, there will also be a shortage of rain. Therefore, a scarcity of food will arise, and the citizens will be very much harassed by government taxation. In this way, the citizens will abandon their attempts to lead a peaceful life and will leave their homes and huts and go to the forest in sheer disappointment. Next. Shurai hatasva kvacha nirvinna cheta shochan vimuhyan upayati kashmalam kvachitcha gandharva puram pravishtaha pramodate nirvrutavan muhurtam. Okay. Saranakanti.
Sometimes being defeated or plundered by a superior, powerful agent, a living entity, loses his all possessions. He then becomes very morose and lamenting their loss. He sometimes becomes unconscious. Sometimes he imagines a great palatial city in which he desires to live happily with his family members and riches. He thinks himself fully satisfied if this is possible, but such so-called happiness continues only for a moment.
Okay, so here in this sloka mainly what? Sometimes that traveler, the merchant imagines a palatial city. In that forest, he is imagining city. He enters it with his family and enjoys for a moment as if fully satisfied. So what it means? That means that is said in the 17th sloka of the next chapter. Sometimes he dreams that his dead father or grandfather has come back. Thus he feels happy. The word Gandharvapuram is very significant in this verse. Sometimes in the forest, a very big castle appears, and this is called a castle in the air. Actually, this castle doesn't exist anywhere, but in one's imagination. This is called Gandharvapura. In the material forest, the conditioned soul sometimes contemplates great castles and skyscrapers, and he wastes his energy for such things, hoping to live in them very peacefully with his family forever. However, the laws of nature don't allow this. When he enters such a castles, he temporarily thinks that he is very happy, even though his happiness is impermanent. His happiness may last for a few years, but because the owner of the castle has to leave the castle at the time of death, everything is eventually lost. This is the way of worldly transactions. Such a happiness is described by Vidyapati as the happiness one derives upon seeing a drop of water in the desert. The desert is heated by scorching sunshine, and if you want to reduce the desert temperature, we need इसको वॉल्यूम कम कर दिए क्या आप थोड़ा अच्छा क्लियर नहीं आ रहा है अच्छा 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 दूर रखो ठीक है तब दूर रखूंगा हरे कृष्णा because it's losing taking my energy. Now it's okay. Okay. अच्छा अच्छा ये चलेगा क्या Okay. Okay. Such a happiness is described by, okay. Next, the desert is heated by scorching sunshine. And if we want to reduce the desert temperature, we need huge amounts of water, millions and millions of gallons. So what is said here? So nothing is permanent here. This is the way world's transactions. Prabhupada is writing here. Eventually, everything is lost. Even if you have, that means opulent life, like you see. So when you might have seen in your life also, when you are all kids and you are all, that means brother, siblings, all, that means brothers, sisters, and having the festivals and with your parents and also your grandparents. His family was so nice, happy. So now after the 10, 15 years, 15, 20 years are over, grandfather died, grandmother left, even mother got disease and she also left. So sisters got married and now house is fully vacant. Nobody is there. It's like this. That means in this material world, nothing is permanent. All the time situation changes and no happiness, only for time being. You might be just having the children and the whole house is so beautiful, harabara. So, but after a few years, everyone for education is going here and there, and that girl is going and finish marriage over. Then you are alone, and festivals are coming and nobody is there, and you are alone and sitting. And wife also left. Your wife also left her body. Then what you are doing? Then you are simply remembering all your past and again and again and crying. That's all. What is it needed? Just to be happy, focus on your Krishna consciousness. And so more and more you engage yourself in Krishna consciousness and make perfect your life and go back. Okay, next. Chalan kvachit kantakasharkarangrir Nagur Rukshur Vimana Yivaste Pade Pade Pyantaravahini Nardita Kautumbika Krudyati Vaijanaya. Tapomai, Prabhu.
Sometimes the merchant is in the forest wants to climb the hills and mountains, but due to insufficient footwear, his feet are picked by small stone fragments and by thorns on the mountains. Being picked by them, he becomes very aggrieved. Sometimes a person who is very attracted to his family becomes overwhelmed with hunger, and due to his miserable condition, he becomes furious with his family members.
Yes, furious with his family members. So, what is said in this eighth sloka? Sometimes he wants to, that means in that forest, there are mountains. And he is trying to climb that mountains. But his feet becomes pierced by thorns. And also in that forest, overwhelmed by hunger, he becomes angry at his family members. In that forest, he is also hunted by hunger. So what it mean? That means climbing mountain and so pierced by thorns means in the household life, one is ordered to execute many yajnas like marriage ceremony. They are very extensive and troublesome to execute. For example, now you have a grown-up child, girl is there. You have to marry her. You have to arrange a marriage for her. Then you need so much money. You need to search. You need to gather money. And then after so many complications, so many problems, so then go boy side, whoever is coming, putting this condition, that condition, and you are not doing marriage, so for your daughter, then they will be keep on saying, all the neighbors, when will you do? When will you do? What is happening? And they will be always pinching you actually. You are not planning, you don't have any money. Then when they ask again and again, and you are not have sufficient money, your earning is not sufficient, then how you will feel? You'll be feeling that so much insult. And it's like a thorns piercing in you. So next, overwhelmed by hunger, he becomes angry at his family members. That means due to bodily hunger and thirst, the conditioned soul becomes impatient and angry with his own sons, daughters, and wife. So you worked hard in the field and you came and there is no rice, there is no food. Then what will happen actually? It's like a big blast. So purport, the ambitious conditioned soul wants to be very happy in this material world with his family, but he is compared to a traveler in the forest who desires to climb a hill full of thorns and small stones. As stated in the previous verse, the happiness derived from society, friendship, and love is like a drop of water in the scorching heat of the desert. One may want to become very great and powerful in society, but this is like a attempting to climb a hill full of thorns. So that's many times we see in the material world. I will go to material life and I will earn so much money and I can be arranging all the needs for my family members. I can make them everyone happy and I can do nicely bhakti. I can do Krishna consciousness so nicely and I have no problem. But it is simply your illusion. It's not at all possible. You have to suffer. You are in the fire means you have to burn your body. It's not that being in the fire, you are touching water and your hand will not be wet. Is it possible? You are in the fire, standing fire, and your hands and legs are not burned. Is it possible? You are in samsara and think that nothing is going to burn you. Is it possible? No. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur compares one's family to high mountains. Becoming happy in their association is like a hungry man's endeavor to climb a mountain full of thorns. Becoming happy in their association, that means in family life, if you want to become happy, means climbing a mountain which is full of thorns and stones and with hunger, no energy in the body. Is it possible? Is it possible to climb that such a mountain which is full of thorns? So people are thinking that in the family life they want to be happy. किसको बोलेंगे? But Krishna conscious family life is happy. No. If you want to be Krishna conscious, then why you have to go for marriage? Be Krishna conscious. So Prabhupada also actually, so he left his family life or not? सब लेके आए क्या? सबको लेके आए? They should leave, na? Is there any guarantee every child, your child is humbly Gurudev? Like it means you are father, but you will treat him as a my Gurudev, and whatever you say, I will follow. Is it like that? It's not. Because family, material life means dissatisfaction, expectation, and so much dualities, illusion, anger, lust. You are surrounded by all these. And will you become happy? It's not possible. Almost. It's okay. So becoming happy in their association is like a hungry man's endeavor to climb a mountain full of thorns. Almost 99.9% of population is unhappy in family life. Note this point, Your Honor. 99.9. You want to be 0.1%? Why not 1%? You want to be that? Oh, no. Actually, 100% this is. Nowadays, Prabhupada is saying 99.9% of people in the family life are not at all happy. And you want to ask any, that means any further references you want? So that means you want any other proof than the Prabhupada? Okay. So that means whoever is Grihastha is saying family life is nice. That means ask them to study this. So ask them to study this line. 99% of the population is unhappy in family despite all the attempts being made to satisfy the family members. So that means you are fully situated in the transcendental platform Krishna consciousness. Then okay. Then you are not in family at all. But is it possible like that? Being in the family and fully Krishna conscious 24 hours? You are not touched. You are touched. Yes. Any answer? No happy. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So that's why we are not promoting any life. We are promoting what? We are telling the 24 hours try to be Krishna conscious. Yeah, this is a fact, because the text is whatever is saying, we should follow that. We should not, that means bring the other things. Text is mainly focused on the whatever things. We should present the philosophy as it is. So it's not that why we not accept? That's here the text is discussing about the family life, and I should speak about that as it is. And brahmachari life, when it comes, then I will speak about that also. What are the difficulties are there in the brahmachari life? That means but brahmachari life means what? We are not brahmacharis. It's not the so-called brahmacharis in the Gnanis, So that is not our we are Krishna conscious. That means in the brahmacharya, what we are saying, the more and more engagement of the Krishna, this is service. So that we are promoting actually. Brahmacharya means more engaged person. That's, but being a brahmachari and not at all interested in the service and just lying on the just bed and just doing the mangalarti forcefully somehow or other and eating, then after that just 10 o'clock finish. So that means he thinks himself as I achieved this such a great thing. That means by the 10 o'clock, he himself thinks that I achieved a great thing. And then after that, he himself feels such a royal man. And so after that 10 o'clock, he'll be sleep for 2 hours, 12 o'clock, he'll wake up and 1 hour. So he is bathing. Then after that, do the Gayatri. And after that, half an hour, 1 hour. So that means bathing, closing, close, this 2 o'clock he will make generally. Then after that, go here and there, picha party. And then, so then maybe 1 hour service he may do. Then after that, 5 o'clock prasadam. And then after that, oh, he's tired now. After that, prasadam is tired and then sleeping. And walking on the bed, watching the movies and this, that, and spoiling the life, finish. Even brahmachari life also is a, if you are not fully engaged, you should be hunted by service. Hunter lagao piche. So you should be having a hunter to you. Someone is hunting all the time. Go for service. If you don't for even you should keep in such a position. If even your mind says that no, I will sleep, but someone should hunt you and force. That condition should force you. Take the full engagement. Don't hesitate to take engagement. Yeah. So that means what will happen? Then what will happen? Then you will be so more and more engaged. So as much as you engage yourself in the service, then only you are saved. Jai Gopinath.
Yes, Prabhu. You made this statement in this context only. Yesterday also I told that no, I'm not a brahmachari. The sense of that, the traditional or the Vedic varnashrama system, but we are engaged in more and more service of the Lord, taking up some important aspects of brahmacharya and following it.
Yes.
I made the statement yesterday.
Yes.
So in this context only, you made that statement today also.
Yeah, that is because we try to make all the ashrams as so Daivi Varnashram. Daivi Varnashram. That means more and more spiritualized ashrams. So that is the main principle actually. So that is Bhaktivinoda Thakur want. He wanted every ashram as Daivi Varnashram. Daivi Varna, Daivi Ashram. That means, so we should divisions, Daivi means engage, fully directly trying to engage directly into the service. Even Grihasthas also, we should try to engage them more and more directly into the service of the Lord. So, but divisions are needed. That is the point, Prabhu. You should not reject the divisions and you should not reject the systems. So that is the point. We are not at all saying that. So we are definitely consciously, we should raise ourselves to as a servant. No, sarva dharman parityajya. That means we don't identify eternally as brahmachari or the grihastha. That is not the understanding. But we should understand how to make the more and more, that means people Krishna conscious. What is needed? What are the systems are needed? That we should be intelligent enough. So for that we need. That is the point actually. So that's Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote to the Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur. So this letter, Daivi Varnashrama, to establish Daivi Varnashram. So that means we cannot neglect our Acharya's words. You cannot wipe out the word of Varnashrama from our teachings. That is happening sometimes, some people, that means how to mess up your life with Varnashrama. So such a things should not happen. It's not for the messing up. Then why Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying? So that kind of bad impression should not be there. So also we should respect the bhakti. Definitely we are there for the getting the pure devotion service only. But it doesn't mean that so you should reject the systems. But rejection systems are needed when you are having that kind of qualification. For the qualified people, definitely Ananya Bhaktas who reach to that Ananya Bhakti, so wing, then they are beyond the material conditions. But still they are following for the setting example to the other society. So this is a strike the balance, this is the important thing. We should not see that as something is obstacle to the bhakti. So many things are there, obstacle to the bhakti, but how to utilize everything in the service of the Lord, that is intelligence. That we should need. There are many cases of divorce, and out of dissatisfaction, the children leave the protection of their parents. And also we are saying, so Varnashram system for this age, what is needed? That is the research actually. Bhakti, Vinod Thakur is telling to Bhakti Saraswati Thakur to see that. That's why he brought. There is no Babaji system further. And he started Gaudiya mission and bring the Brahmachari, Gruhastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. He brought, because Babaji system, Saki Baki, these Baki, that, all Misampradaya, Sampradayas. Enjoying Vaishnava means it's like a scolding, is a vulgar word in the society, because Vaishnavas behaved like that on the name of not Vaishnavas, on the name of Vaishnavism, Vaishnavas, false people behaved such a nasty way in the society that we don't want further. That is the point Bhaktivinoda Thakur made to the Bhakti Siddhanta. And that's why we have a regulated society, very proper society we need. And that is very important. That's why you should understand the Shastra, Acharya's instructions and the present situation and how to implement. So that is very important thing. There are many cases of divorce, and out of dissatisfaction, the children leave the protection of their parents. Especially in this age of Kali, family life is being reduced. Everyone is becoming self-centered because that is the law of nature. Even if one has sufficient money to maintain family, the situation is such that no one is happy in family life. Many times people think that, so if we have sufficient money in the Grihastha life, we'll be happy. Don't be illusioned by this. You will never be happy even if you have money, because Grihastha life means not just money. There are so many. There are so many are there. So many things are there. Even if one, consequently, according to the Varnashrama institution, one has to retire from family life in middle age. That means panchashordvam vanam rajet. So, but Brahmachari is marrying at the age of 40. What is this? That what is this Daivarnashram? Acha. Is Daivarnashram marrying 40? Yeah, but actually, so it is very difficult actually. Don't go for this. Yeah. One should voluntarily retire from family life at the age of 50 and go to the Vrindavan or a forest. Yes, every Grihastha has to plan for this. So that means Vrindavan means make Vrindavan your place itself. That means you should engage yourself more and more into preaching. Don't stop your endeavors to earn money. Whatever you earned is enough. And now you give more and more energy and time to spread the Krishna consciousness. This should be the plan for the Grihasthas. For the children and for children's children, grandchildren and great grandchildren, for everyone you only earn, then what they will do? They will become lazy. And you are spoiling them. So this is recommended by Srila Prahlad Maharaj. Tat sadhu manye tat sadhu manye suravarya dehinam sada samudvigna diyam asadgrahat हित्वात्मपातं गृहम् अन्धकूपं वनं गतो यद्धरिम् आश्रये. There is no benefit in transferring from one forest to another. One must go to the Vrindavan forest and take shelter of Govinda. That will make one happy. The International Society Krishna Consciousness is therefore constructing a Krishna Balram temple to invite its members as well as outsiders to come and live peacefully in spiritual atmosphere. So you all can come to IBMV also. All Grihasthas, we are having the flats and we are. Please come and serve. Take the full-time service. All Grihasthas. That will help one become elevated to transcendental world and return home back to Godhead. Another sentence in this verse is very significant. Kautambikaha krudyati vai janaya. When one's mind is disturbed in so many ways, he satisfies himself by becoming angry with his poor wife and children. So that means for all, if you are, as your boss is scolding, then you will come and you will show that angry on your wife and children. Then your wife will take the revenge on that on another day. She will remember and then this will go on, this chain reactions. Then keeping that in our mind, then that thing in our mind, and you'll doing another day, and then another day, and another day. Then the difference, friction increasing, and it will become like a big. So that means difference between the two. And so many problems. Then you will not understand that what is the beginning of the problem. Then you are having the intermediate problems, so many, and finding the solutions and no conclusion. Then finally frustration, and then you are always paying obeisances when I will leave this place. Every day fighting, yes. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Achinna Dara Dravina Yasyanti Giri Kananam. Being disgusted with family life, one separates from the family by divorce or some other means. If one has to separate, why not separate willingly? Systematic separation is better than the forced separation. That's why everyone should take divorce. That is nothing but Vanaprastha. Because Shastra is saying family life is not for eternal. So everyone should take divorce means everyone should go for Vanaprastha. Is compulsory. Compulsory divorce. So that should be voluntarily. Otherwise, if you say forcefully there, then you will get the pain. Forced separation cannot make anyone happy, but by mutual consent, by the way one separate from his family affairs at an age fully dependent on Krishna. This makes one's life successful. Fully dependent on Krishna means Purna Shraddha. This is Ananya Bhakti. One should become Ananya Bhakti. 24 hours he should engage himself in the service of the Lord. Direct devotional service. 24 hours for the pleasure of the Lord. With the favorable mood. Then this is the pure devotion. One should come to this. Okay, thank you very much. So we'll continue tomorrow. Already we are seeing the both chapters. So we'll finish. So only till 19 we have this. Then after that quickly you can do this. Tomorrow we can finish the 2 chapters. That means this chapter finished means 2 chapters are over. Monday will start the 15th chapter. That will take 1 day. Okay. Then we'll start the 6th canto, our Ajamil story. Tuesday onwards, Ajamil story will start. Okay. Any questions or? Okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.